All right, so let's settle in. What does fall equinox mean? The days, the nights, they're equal. They're equal. So there's some ideas of balance there, a balance, night, darkness, brightness. So we're going to be playing with balance. And I really think everyone needs a little balance in their lives. So hopefully the things that we work on in class today, you can take them and bring them to your life. So let's settle into a comfortable seated pose as we start thinking about the fall, the autumn. And I'm wearing fall colors today to celebrate. So let's close our eyes. Let's do just 3 deep belly breaths. You can bring your hand to your lower belly. You can sigh it out. Let's take a deeper breath. This time, let's open our mouth. Let's do one more. And then you can let your breath return to normal. Set your hands on your knees. Let's check in with how we're feeling emotionally today, with our emotional state. So our emotional state is a physical experience. So create a nuanced sentence that describes how you're feeling right now. It can have a lot of ands, and this and that, yet, nor, and beyond that. Can have all kinds of words in it. And now let's try to find in our body, where does this feeling, this emotion live? So just take a moment to find it in your body. And now notice what the emotion is perceived as. Is it a knot, a tightness, a fluttering, an expansiveness, throbbing, some other word? So the location in your body where you feel the emotion, how does it take form? So this kind of awareness of our internal state is called interoception. It's very important for us to work on our interoception. It's part of being emotionally intelligent. And it's not easy, it's very challenging. All right, let's bring our attention to our thought patterns. And just notice if there's any trends. So when we pay attention to our thought patterns, it gives us insight into things happening in our lives that we may need to address. So just note your emotional state and your mental patterns. Don't judge them, just note them, and we're going to compare them at the end of practice. And now let's set an intention for our practice. All right, we're going to bring our hands together and begin with an Om. Inhale. Om. Softly open the eyes. So we're going to work on balance today. And we're going to start off by playing with our sits bones. So let's roll onto our right sits bone. And let's just balance on the right sits bone, and that might seem like a trivial matter, but let's just make a little circle clockwise around our right sits bone. So you can bring your eyes down. When we direct our eyes to a specific body part, it helps bring focus there. So the sits bone is right underneath the hip. It's the bony part at the bottom of the hips. So you can sort of look at this whole right hip area. And let's bring in the breath. So let's inhale forward, exhale back. And then let's reverse, exhaling back, inhaling forward. And you might be wondering, this is such a subtle movement. Is this even doing anything? Let's find out. Let's come to the middle. Close your eyes and try to feel the difference between your right sits bone and your left sits bone. Just find some words to describe the difference. Mine is feeling a little bit more alive. I have more awareness there. All right, softly open the eyes. Let's look down at our left sits bone and let's come around the left sits bone clockwise. So as we're moving, we're coming out of balance, inhaling forward, and then exhaling back. One more. And then let's reverse. And now come back to balance and close the eyes and feel what it feels like to be balanced between your two sits bones. All right, open your eyes, look back down. We're going to now make a figure eight. So let's come around the center, up the center, and then around the right side, around the back, up the center, and then the front of the left sits bone coming around the back. So let's inhale whenever we're moving forward. Exhale on the way back. And as you go around, notice how your body is falling out of balance, coming up into balance, and then falling forward, coming around backwards. And now let's reverse. Exhaling whenever you're back, going backwards, inhaling forward. So are we building muscle here? Are we stretching something? Not really. We're really working on interoception of just trying to feel a subtle movement, which is very valuable to bring to our regular lives. Okay, let's come to center. Again, close the eyes and just notice the difference. Maybe your heartbeat got a little higher. Just note that. All right, softly open the eyes. We are going to open the chest. So we're going to take the arms up and open. And as you do, lean back a little bit. And then exhale, coming forward with your hands and lean it forward a little bit. So now we're moving our whole upper body back and forth, and just feel how the balance is changing. See if there's an emotional tone when you open your hands. And a different tone when you bring your hands to heart center. All right, one more. And let's just have our hands at heart center for a moment here. And we're going to do a humming bee breath. We'll do 5 hums. And let's make the inhale very slow. So the humming bee breath is the second half of the exhale, or the second half of the om. So inhale. Hum. And then just feel the resonance to your heart center when you finish your last one. All right, wonderful. We're going to come up and work on more balance. So we're going to come up to our hands and knees. So you can put your blanket, if you have a blanket, in the middle of your mat. And we're going to do a move called the hunting dog, a dynamic hunting dog. So we're going to play with a lot of balance. So if you have blocks, what I want you to do is put your block underneath your right knee. All right, so coming up onto the block, and then we're going to extend the left leg and the right arm. So you notice this is a very challenging balance pose. So what we're going to do is bring the arm and leg up. Now, options here to make it easier is you can touch the ground with your toes on your right foot, but if you want to make it harder, you can point your toes. So what you want to try to do is have a complete straight line between your foot and your hand. So let's inhale the legs up, the left leg up and the right hand up. There's no need to move fast. As you're doing this, try to see if your hips are straight. All right, this is our last one. Let's set the right hand down. Let's bring the left knee down to the ground. And then we are going to bring the block over to the left knee. So once you get the block positioned and you're balanced, you decide if you want to bring your toes to the ground or point them. And now we're going to lift the right leg and the left hand. So making a completely straight line with your body. By the way, if this is hard, it's because it is very hard. Always breathe in and out through the nose. And this is our last one. Wow, but it's very challenging. Okay, bring the leg and the hands down. So we're going to come onto the center of our mat and do another little balancing act. So with this one, we're going to be working on our side plank, okay? So the way this looks is we're going to have one block down on the medium, or the low side, I should say, and one block by our shin. We're going to take the left leg out, having this block right in front of the shin, and then we're going to bring the right hand down to this block, stretching up, and then we're going to bring the left hand down to this other block. So we're just going to go back and forth, and let me talk about the breath. So the breath is going to be inhaling the right hand over the ear, and then exhaling the right hand out of the block. And really stretch through the ribs. All right, let's just do one more. All right, we're gonna now bring the right hand down. You can either keep it on the block or bring it to the ground, and we're gonna do a half plank, okay? Or a full side plank. So you can either have the knee down, or you can bring the right leg out to meet the left, okay? So you decide we're going to do 10 breaths here through the nose. Try to smile. All right, 9 and 10. Whew. All right, so bring the right leg back in if you had moved it, and then come up, and then we're going to set up for the other side. So bringing the block now to the right on the high side, bring the right leg out, flatten the block out on the left side, stretch out. So we're going to inhale the left arm over, stretching through the left ribs, and then exhale the left hand down, bringing the right hand over the right ear as your exhale, and just move back and forth at your own pace. All right, we're just going to do one more. All right, when you come into your side plank next time, decide which variation we're going to do and then do it for 10 breaths. So make sure that you have a good option that can feel safe. So our left hand is down, our right hand is in the sky. Breathe in and out through the nose. All right, 9 and 10. All right, so that was balancing on the side body. Whew. Are you sweating? I am sweating. Okay, we're going to come to stand, and we're going to work on balancing the front and the back. So we're going to come on to our mountain pose. So standing, let's take a look at our feet. Remember, when you bring your focus to something, it really helps the mind focus on that space. The eyes help the mind focus. So let's look at our feet. We're going to press all 4 corners into the feet and find balance. So the first corner is going to be the inside of the ball toe of the foot, so this part. So we're going to press that on both sides in and feel that edge of the foot is running all the way up your inside of your legs. That gives a lot of stability. Then we're going to press on the outside ball toe of the foot, that part right here by the pinky toe. So now press that side in. And then we're going to press on the inside of the heel right here. So press that part on each foot. And notice how kind of on, when you press just on that, it may make your knees knock in a little bit. And then press on the outside of the pinky toe side by the heel. And notice that that kind of throws you out of whack. All right, so let's press into all 4 sides, which gives us a really strong base. Really, really strong and grounded. So let's play with getting ungrounded by rocking forward. So we're going to rock onto the toes and feel yourself almost falling over. So really try to see where is it and what else happens to your body. So my body is pitching forward. My arms are being thrown back. That's just automatic. My knees are bending. So when you come out of balance, your body tries to save you. So we're just moving on the forward to see what happens to our body. And notice how much energy it takes to stay here. All right, let's come up back to neutral. Let's press into all 4 corners of the foot. Look down and just make sure. Let's stand and close our eyes and feel how nice it feels to be balanced. Okay, we're going to now rock to the back. So coming back onto our heels. So start seeing what happens when you come back. So my arms automatically came up and my spine tilted. So I'm trying to like catch myself. My knees bent a little bit. So when you come out of balance towards the back, your body does certain things to try to save itself. So just notice that. See how much energy it takes to keep upright when you're leaning backwards. All right, let's come to center. Feel all four corners of the feet planting, growing little roots. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose, and feel grounded in the center. You can close your eyes. All right, wonderful. So that was playing with the front and back. We're gonna now do a little balance exercise with our blocks. So take your one block and bring it to that top of your inner thighs, and take your other block into your hands. So we're gonna work on squeezing towards the center line. So the first thing we're gonna do is play with the block in between our thighs. So squeeze the block with the inner thigh muscles and try to really, really press it. So feeling that strength of the inner thighs. When we go through life and we have weak inner thighs, it can cause all kinds of other issues throughout the whole body. The whole body's trying to compensate. So having really, really strong inner thighs that are engaged are going to really help us. So let's just play with this a little bit. And let's do a little fun little exercise. Let's push the block forward and push the block back, only using the inner thighs. So notice that my hips aren't moving, okay? So watch, this is my hips moving. This is some kind of fun dance move. That's not what we wanna do. What we wanna do is just move the pelvis back and forth by moving the inner thighs. So the inner thighs, imagine they're two tree trunks and they're rotating like this and they're rotating like that, okay? So when the inner thighs, let me show you on the hands. When the inner thighs push forward, the block moves forward and then the inner thighs move back. So you can see it like this. So that's what our bones are doing. They're pushing in and they're pushing out. See that? So when we push the brick forward, you can actually feel, it's your own body, you're squeezing the sits bones together. The sits bones are moving together. And that gives us so much stability, which is really, really important as we go through our life. Okay, so let's leave that there. Let's bring our hands to the block now. And now we're going to lift the block up while squeezing the block. So what is this doing? This is bringing stability to our shoulders. So we're squeezing the block and put your hands on the side of the block like this, okay, versus holding it like that. Put the hands on the sides right here, okay? All right, so let's squeeze the block between the thighs and between the hands. Lifting, inhaling up, exhale down. And let's look at the block between our hands. Try to keep the elbows straight. So right now we're squeezing towards the midline. Everything in our body is squeezing towards the midline. Let's do one more. And then exhale. And let's take the blocks out and let's grab our strap, okay? So for the next one, we are going to use the strap to create stability. So when we press towards the center line, we're creating stability. And we also, when we pull away equally, we create stability. So I'm going to just adjust my camera a tiny little bit here so you can actually see me. So what we're gonna do is play a little game with our strap. So let's wrap one hand in the strap, okay? And then take the hand out about shoulder width. So we're gonna take the strap, pulling it apart, taking it by our thighs, and we're gonna bring the hands up, okay? Pulling the whole way equally, stretching the strap out. Now, let's just go up and down a few times, inhaling up. Look at the strap the whole way. All right, on the next one, I want you to weaken one of your hands, like kind of let your arm go limp. So try to keep one hand is still strong and the other one goes limp. It's almost impossible to like do it. All right, let's try it like this. Let's bring the arms all the way up, pulling them apart. And then let's let one of the arms go limp. So what happens when we don't pull equally, one, it goes out of whack. You really need to have both forces pressing equally. And this is just showing that in life, to have balance, we need to have some pressure, some resistance that's equal. Like two partners have to be equally strong. You don't want one partner to be too weak. All right, let's set the block or the strap down, and we're gonna work on some balance poses with those concepts in mind. So go ahead and set it down. And we're gonna first work on tree pose. So tree pose is the classic one where it has to be two forces pressing against each other, okay? So let's start off with our tree pose with our hands. So let's actually bring the hands together just in front of us with our feet on the ground. So pressing the hands into each other. And let's just look at our hands as we are doing this. So our elbows are pointing out to the side. The wrists are getting an isometric stretch pose. So this actually is very calming. If you ever feel very unraveled, you can press your hands together and it's very centering. All right, the other one that we can do with our hands is lift them out into tree. So you can imagine that you had that strap, but we don't have the strap, it's just imaginary. So we're reaching our hands up and we're equally pressing into our hands. And not one of them is like weak. Both of them are strong. So see that gives us a lot of power. Okay, so you can pick either this one or this one for your tree pose. Let's talk about the legs. So what we're gonna do is start off on our left leg. So we'll go ahead and look down and let's do that whole grounding. So let's first press into the toe ball and then by the heel and then the outside by the pinky and then the outside by the heel. So that whole foot is grounded. And then we take up the right leg. Now there's three options. You can put it by the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. So to practice today, you can do any of those, but what I really want you to do is press whatever your standing leg is against the foot, okay? It's gotta be that same pressure that you just did with the block. So what I want you to try is to pick one of those places, but not your knee, okay? So let's go ahead and try this. So bring your hands either into prayer, pressing strongly, or into branches. And now, let's see if we can play with this. Let's let our branches wither. The withering. And see how this makes your tree pose. Try to stay up with your arms just being loosey-goosey. That is very hard. Okay. Now let's come back into tree pose and bring the branches into strength. Okay? Strong arms. And see if it gives you more stability. Your whole core is lifting up, making your tree so strong. Now let's bring attention to the foot versus on the leg. Press the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Okay, now let it go. So let your leg just sort of flop and see what happens to your beautiful tree. So look at me, my tree is falling apart here. This is like some kind of wilting tree. It needs water. Okay, so now let's try it again. Bring the leg and squish it firmly into wherever, I'll bring it down here too. So bring it and press it firmly into the calf or the inner thigh or the ankle, and then grow your tree. Now let's have everything pressing towards the inline and the hands are pulling out into the branches and feel the strength. All right, let's just take 2 deep breaths here. Growing strong. All right, come on out, shake it out, do a little fall dance, a little autumn dance. Okay, how are you doing? 2 thumbs up? Okay. Whew, this is a hard class. Okay, now we're gonna come onto the right leg. So before we do, we actually want to do some science. So let's just stand Tadasana, feeling both of our feet planted. Close the eyes and let's feel our heart beating. And notice the difference on the sides. All right, so we can softly open the eyes. Let's take a look with our eyes at our right foot. So we're going to be planting our right foot into the ground. Let's start off by the big toe ball and then the inside of the heel, pressing them. Then the outside by the pinky toe and then the outside by the heel. So pressing all 4 corners. Then we take our left foot either by the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh, but not on the knee. So really look down and make sure you're not on the knee. Okay, so press that foot into the calf, into the thigh or wherever it is, and then grow either branches or you can do hands. Maybe we can do prayer hands this time. So let's press together firmly and see if pressing together with the hands gives you more stability. Also, don't forget that your sides are going to be different. So let's look at our hands as we press them, or you can look at a spot on the wall, either way. And now let's do an experiment. So now let's let the hands be weak. Maybe let the elbows just drop, let the fingers be lazy, and see if that makes your tree start falling over. It's withering! It's withering! Okay, let's bring the hands back together strongly and just see how strong that makes you. All right, now let's bring our attention to the foot and the thigh. So press that foot into the thigh or wherever it is, the calf or the ankle. And now try just making it less strong. Wow, I'm about to fall over here. All right, so just see what happens. Oh, my tree is dying. Okay, I'm gonna fall over. Okay, so let's come back and make it strong. This time we're gonna press that foot into the leg and the hands into each other, pressing firmly. Really feeling the strength, the inner strength that's coming together, the squeezing inwards. And let's do 2 deep breaths here. All right, come on out and shake it out. You can do a little dance, a little fall equinox dance. Okay, great. So we're gonna now work on another balance pose that is really, really, really fun. And I don't do it very often. So for this one, I recommend using a wall. So having your hand on a wall, and you can also use a strap. So let me show you what it looks like using a strap and a wall. So dancer pose is a standing psoas opener. So with the strap, I'm going to first of all ground onto my right foot using all the techniques that we've been using, pressing into all 4 corners of the foot. Then I'm going to grab my left ankle in the strap, bring it into my left hand. Then I'm going to take my hand to the wall. If you don't have a wall, you can also just bring your hand to the air. Then I'm going to press the foot into the strap, pressing the foot away. So this should be a nice psoas opener on the front of the leg. So that's what it looks like. And I think it's best to have the wall in front of you, okay? So that you can be leaning, you can have your hand straight ahead of you. Okay, so let's just do 5 deep breaths here. And where the tension, the balance is coming in, we're pressing the leg into the strap. Okay, the other way to do this, by the way, if you can, is to just grab the foot with the hand. So when we press the foot away from the body, it creates that kind of equal resistance. And the arm is reaching forward. So feel that resistance, that the difference, just like when we were holding the strap overhead, that's the same feeling. that we're getting here. All right, so let's do this. Let's hold it for 5 deep breaths. So come on in. Push that leg away. All right, and exhale, come out slowly. Let's shake it out. So dancer pose is very challenging. It's definitely not an easy pose, and it's using all these principles of balance I've been playing with. All right, let's stand into Tadasana. Feel our heart beating. Let's close our eyes. All right, softly open the eyes, and we're gonna go to the other side. So taking the hat strap in your hand, we're going to start off by planting the left foot. So go ahead and look at your foot, press all 4 corners into the ground, making sure you have a really nice firm plant. Then we're gonna reach the left hand forward and touch the wall. So the wall should be right directly in front of us. Then once we have the hand on the wall, we loop the strap around our foot, press the foot backwards into the strap, and we can lean forward and take your time getting in. So feel the resistance between the 2 sides, the hand reaching forward, touching the wall, and the hand in the strap. So you can also do this, of course, without a strap and without a wall, but it's even very, very hard. So go ahead and reach, feel the equal resistance, and let's do 5 deep breaths. And 5, and then let's come out slowly. It's a big, big stretch. Let's shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. All right, great. So we're gonna come back down to sit because we've done a lot of really hard standing poses. So let's come back down to our mat. And so we're gonna start off with a twist. Twists are so nice for just getting equalized in our body. So let's take our legs out in front of us. We can flex our ankles a little bit, loosening any tension from all the balance poses. Let's take the right heel next to the left hip and the left heel next to the right. Optionally, you could leave the left heel out if it's too tight. So once we get into position, we're gonna be turning towards the right. So let's take the left elbow to the right knee, taking the right hand behind, and twist in towards the right. Press the sits bones into the ground and reach the top of the head towards the sky. So let's inhale. On each inhale, deepen your twist. On the exhale, let your twist slightly loosen. And by the way, we're trying to bring our belly button towards the right. So you can just kind of think of your belly button as going towards the right. All right, let's do 10 deep breaths. All right, this is our 9th breath. And our 10th, we're going to take the biggest breath yet and hold for 3 seconds. All right, unfurl, turning your left hand, bringing your right hand. And then we're just going to do a little counter twist. So don't unfurl the legs. We're going to take our right elbow to the knee and then turn to the left. Let's just do 3 deep breaths here. All right, unfurl. So now we can undo our legs. So bring the legs out. You can shake out the legs, shake out the upper body. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to bring the left heel next to the right foot, or right hip, and then the right heel next to the left. And we're going to be turning towards the left. So imagine your belly button is turning towards the left. As you hook your right elbow, take the left hand behind you, press into the ground, keep your spine nice and straight, press your sits bones into the ground, and your crown towards the sky. Let's do 10 deep breaths. Each breath twisting a little more. Each exhale, release a little bit, heading towards the left. Use your breath to deepen the twist. Nine. And on your 10th, hold for 3 seconds. So we're going to unfurl only the top and do a little counter twist. So come forward and then take your right hand behind you and your left hand on your knee and twist over to the right for a little counter twist. We'll just do 3 deep breaths. So doing a little counter twist. And 3. And then exhale, unfurl all the way. How are you doing? Okay, great. So we're gonna do butterfly pose because, you know, butterflies are beautiful and wonderful. And so we're gonna take the block in between and we're gonna practice squeezing. So we're gonna squeeze the block, bringing all that center momentum that we've been working on today, squeezing the block between the feet. You can bring your hands to the outside. Maybe you can interlace the fingers. And let's go ahead and do 10 deep breaths, squeezing this block hard between our feet. And 10. Let's hold for 3 seconds. All right, remove the block and bring your feet together and just see if you've gained some more space in your inner thighs without the block. So set the block aside and just see if with your feet together, if there's more space. Does it feel more loose? And then let's fly. Fly, fly. Yay, fly, because it's autumn. All right, beautiful. We're gonna come around and do a happy baby. So coming on down to our back, we can grab our feet and just rock back and forth, just enjoying the rest. And we can roll a little bit to different parts of our back, massaging our spine with gravity. So we played a lot with gravity today, rocking forwards and backwards and pulling towards the center line and pulling away. All of these things are critical for balance, and especially important with the winds of fall coming in. We have to work on balance even extra hard. So let's take our feet, our toes in front of us and bring them over our head or somewhere near there. Inhaling forward, exhale back. And if you can do a plow pose, go ahead. Just be sure not to turn your head. Let's just do 3 breaths and plow. And then roll into your Shavasana. So Shavasana is the greatest grounding and balance pose. So go ahead and do a little body scan and feel all the places where you feel gravity touching your body. Everywhere you're feeling gravity, go ahead and grow some little roots into the ground. You keep doing Shavasana for another moment or two, and I'm going to just do a little inspiration. So feeling this balanced is really, really important. Feeling the roots grow into the ground can help you as you move through the fall, the autumn time. The autumn has a lot of change. There's a lot of holidays, family events. Things can get a little stressful. So bringing this feeling of balance and rootedness can help you. So when you're ready, you can come up and sit. And let's check in with how we're feeling. So bringing your hands together, just check in with the sensation of emotions in your body. Remember what you felt at the beginning of class and just check in there. And then check in with your mental state, any patterns going on, any shift in the thought patterns. And now remember your intention. And then we'll close with an Om. Inhale. Om. And may the benefits of this practice benefit you and all creatures everywhere. Namaste.